going to VAR. They're checking.
Hey, guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yes. We're back again with another episode of the VARBARPOD podcast. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew, and I'm joined with the star boys of the VBP. How we doing, guys?
Not bad.
Good, man.
All good.
Fucking shit.
Why? How comes?
Bro, it's just raining. It's miserable. It's meant to be May. Bro, no sun.
Yeah, it's peak. Weather's peak, man. It's still kind of chilly as well, to be fair.
The summer soon come, man. I think from next week onwards we're smiling weather-wise. But yeah, will our clubs be smiling in regards to our individual targets for the season? It remains to be seen, man. But obviously, let's start with Jake and it's Chelsea. Obviously, your team is well on course to finish the season on a high after drawing with Madrid 1-0. Obviously, a much-needed away goal and also beating Fulham 2-0 in a West London derby. So that's on paper at least, Champions League final on the horizon, FA Cup final already in the bag. Top 4 looks all but confirmed for me. Jake, I say this to you every time, man, but so far so good?
Yeah, man, it's been impressive. I mean, harkening back to that Madrid game, that first half an hour, well, just before they scored, we were fantastic. We absolutely played them off the park. Like, I can't say I watch Madrid every week, but I can't remember a time when both Kroos and Modric were so ineffective. Like, they were just played off the park completely. I mean, Tuchel said it himself. We could have easily killed off that tie within the first half an hour, let alone waiting that long. So fantastic work from them to get the away goal. Should be going through on that regard if we play like that at Stamford Bridge. Very, very happy.
If you lot go out, you killed yourself in that first leg because you lot should have been at least like 3-0 up by half time.
Man.
Yeah. No,
Again.
without a doubt, we could have taken more chances, but I'm just confident with the way we played. Like, they looked like they had no answers for us, really and truly. Like, we were just popping it around them. Like, it just, like I say, the midfield was ineffective. I mean, Casemiro, one of the best holding midfielders in the world, he wasn't really in the game that much. And then Kroos and Modric just were so far away from their goal. Like, they were just proved to be so ineffective. Marcelo proved he was over the hill. Like, I think he's lucky that he might be doing the elections because he'll just get embarrassed again.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Who started for Chelsea in the midfield? Because I didn't watch the game personally.
It was a Kante, Jorginho, middle double six pivot. And Kante
Had a man's game. Sorry, Jake. Kante had a man's game. He was unreal.
Best player on the pitch for me.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That was prime Kante. That was absolute prime Kante. He was everywhere. Like, I've said it before, but a lot of people, like, when they speak about Kante, they just speak about his energy. And fair enough. But he is genuinely one of the smartest players on the pitch every time he goes on it because he knows where that ball is going to be. He just knows when to put his foot in. Like, it's fantastic. I can't give them enough credit apart from the fact that we just could not get the ball on there, apart from Pulisic making a foul out of Courtois, which that you could inject that in me every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Because
So let me ask you this, because obviously, like, we'll go on to the United boys later, but I think they are pretty confident of collecting the Europa League. But are you confident of collecting the Champions League, providing the potential finalists that you might be facing, not Chelsea, City or PSG?
It's a really good question. I don't think we'd be favoured, but it's a Champions League final. Like, it's 90 minutes, anything could happen. And the way we've been playing recently, it's not like we'd be a walk in the park. Like, for either City or PSG, like we saw in the FA Cup final, obviously City changed a lot, but we can play with them. And then PSG, the way they've been playing with Pochettino recently, it just seems very much like they'll define with 9 players and just leave Neymar and Mbappe to attack. So, yeah, Di Maria joins in, but it is very much like they play 4-4-2 really, and they just leave Mbappe and Neymar up top. They don't press, and they just want to counter you, which would be quite a different game for us. But I don't think we'd be favoured, but over 90 minutes, I still think we'd definitely have our chances, and we'd definitely be in the game. It wouldn't be a case of we'd just be an onslaught if we got there. But at the end, we have to do business tomorrow. We have to take our chances, because I don't see us keeping Benzema out of the goal for 90 minutes, because
his goal was good, by the
Bro,
way.
the goat, man.
Anticipation. That's you can't teach that, man.
No. And it was even like, I don't know if you boys remember when he basically decided, I think it was like around the 25th minute, it was like, right, I'm just going to grab the game a bit here, and just took the ball, took a couple of touches to his left, hit it with the left outside the box. And I think, was it even Mendy made a great save, or it hit off the post? And it's just like, just that little bit of amazing quality. Like, no matter how well you defend, he will pop up. So, without a doubt. And I think Ramos is back. And Ramos is definitely, you can say, one of those big-time players, those big-game players. Yeah. So, they've definitely got the personnel to do it and the names. But, like I say, if we played the way we did when we went away to Madrid at Stamford Bridge, I would see us through. That's what I'd say.
Let's hope so, man. I don't mind Chelsea. I hope Chelsea wins the Champions League, actually. I don't want City to collect it, man, personally. But let me go to press. So obviously Kai Havertz came like Timo Werner over for big money to Chelsea and struggled to impose himself in the initial stages. I think he also hasn't that many game time as well, but yesterday or Saturday he was good for 2 goals. He's still only 21. Do you think he has the potential to blow in the league? Or do you think he won't reach the heights that we expect from him, or that his price tag demands from him?
Yeah, again, so a key thing that you mentioned there, price tag and hype. So 2 key things. I think when we're considering the price tag and the hype around Kai Havertz before he came into the league, obviously he was ripping it up in the Bundesliga, goals, assists. He looked great on the ball, demanding the ball, looking assertive, taking on players, etc. I don't think, certainly for the majority of this season, we haven't seen that Kai Havertz in the Premier League. I'm not saying that he won't get there, but I think it's going to take a little bit more, desire, effort, whatever you want to call it, for him to actually reach the levels. Because the Premier League is a different league, but I feel like over the weekend with his 2 goals, which he took really, really well. The Mason Mount assist was unreal, by the way. But he took the goals really, really well. And, that could be a glimpse into what to expect in the future should he continue to, put in the work, put in the effort, and show, Tuchel why he should be picked week in, week out, because it is a hefty price tag. He's a youngster, but there is hype around him. So I'm not going to say I expect him to reach the levels, but, there is a little bit of an expectation there that he will, reflect some of the form that he showed in the Bundesliga for Leverkusen. So let's wait and see, man. Let's see.
I think he will, I think he will. I personally think he will show his quality either earlier or quicker than Timo Werner, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think I've kind of seen enough. Obviously, you're right with saying that he's not up to par with his physicality. He looks a bit sluggish. He looks a bit timid, scared sometimes, even in games I've seen him. But at the same time, it's one of them where I'm thinking he's probably just sussing everything out, because there has been glimpses. Jake can correct me if I'm wrong, but there has been glimpses of him actually, obviously, albeit not the whole game, but there has been glimpses of him doing good things in the game, whether it be passes, the correct passes, or trying to give the assist to Timo or whatever. So, when I look at him, I don't feel like he's not gonna get it right, man. Will he blow? I'm not sure.
He does have them moments where he fades in games, where he goes missing for pieces.
But he's 21, bro.
Yeah, facts.
21.
One thing I did want to say, while we're on the topic of Chelsea, was Werner. So I know he did make a good assist for the second goal, but I noticed that there was a chance earlier on in the game where he squared it to Ziyech, and again, I think it's just, for me, a sign of his lack of confidence still in front of goal. And I feel like because Chelsea have so many quality players, maybe not this season, but at some point next season, there's going to be a time where Chelsea are going to be looking for him to start scoring goals. And even though he's assisting a lot right now, I definitely feel as if there's going to be a time where there's a lot more pressure on his head. I feel like because a lot of the team are kind of helping with the goals, that there's not too much pressure on him now. But at the end of the day, Chelsea didn't buy him for all of these assists, all of this creative stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Jake, would you agree with that?
I get where Tosi's coming from. Essentially, want him to be more ruthless in front of goal, and it's definitely a mental thing. Like the kid can score. The kid can score. We saw that at Red Bull Leipzig, and this year he has just missed so many big chances. I mean, you think of like the other underperforming strikers. I think there was a chart in the group chat. It was a while ago, and it was like expected goals to actual goals in the Prem, and Firmino, Mane, and Werner were all in a similar bracket. And it was a case of, well, you think of Mane, you think he's having a down year, but you can't really associate that many big chances missed with them two as compared to Werner. And for me, it is just a mental thing. He doesn't have that confidence in front of goal. Now, in terms of the assist, well, I mean, I'm going to take the assist still because it's still leading to goals, whether or not Werner's putting them in. I mean, I saw Werner was the first player since 2016 for Chelsea to have 10 goals and 10 assists since Eden. Like, so don't get me wrong, he has had an underwhelming season and it is just a mental thing. But to still have double figures in goals and assists in a debut season, it's not living up to his price tag, but it's a good start. But he does need to kick on, and he does need to have that sense of ruthlessness in front of goal. Like, he doesn't strike me as a player who's absolutely going to smack it in the top corner, or even someone that's going to finesse it like Thierry Henry into the bottom corner. He's very much like a placement, but with a bit of power one, just like bottom corners. And he's just not hitting them. It's just not hitting him. It's not come to him. And he needs to kick on. Like, I hope he doesn't miss any more of these chances for the rest of the season, because we're getting into that money part of the season. We've got no small games left. So we can't really afford for him to keep missing these chances. Like, if he puts away that one against Courtois in the first leg of the semi-final against Madrid, the tie's over if we go home 2-1 up with 2 away goals. Like, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes, because if he carries on like this for the rest of the year, and let's say we miss a chance in the semi-final, or if we get to the final and we don't win it, then how much more likely is it that in the summer we go and try and get a Lukaku or a Haaland, and thus immediately threatening his place? So he needs to turn up for himself.
Yeah, I've seen your running, Jake. It's a bit mad. I've seen you've got some hard games. There's no easy game for you lot.
Nah, it's us and Leicester that have got disgusting run-ins, and like I'm glad that's why, like with the Fulham game, with the West Ham game, we've picked up points because we've got that gap. Like Drew says, should we be guaranteed for top 4 given the points? We should do, but considering that run-in, we could easily fall out of it if we don't turn up every single week. So, I mean, we've got City as the first one. They've got a day less recovery. Will that matter that much? Probably not. But
they better be motivated, because that's the game for them to secure the title. So
yeah,
exactly. So, like I say, every game's a big game now.
Well, I mean, I know we're going to go to your game, Andy, but if your game gets played before that, they would have won the title.
Yeah, obviously, but I don't know. I don't know when that's going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, so
we'll see.
Chelsea have got now Madrid game, 4 league games, the FA Cup. So we've got at least 6 big games left, if not 7. Every game, it's like, to Americanize it, every game's a playoff game. You have to keep that mentality where it is must win at all costs.
At least Pulisic will understand.
Yeah, there we go. That's how they get us over to the Super League. If you treat every game's a playoff game, man.
All right, man. Let's head over to North London then. You guys were lots in the news as well. Obviously, Spotify CEO Daniel Ek, a lifetime Arsenal supporter, has come out to say that he's seriously considering buying Arsenal. They also face their old manager Unai Emery, who's now managing Villarreal. Arsenal managed to get an away goal, albeit they lost the game 2-1. For me, still in pole position as the next game is at home. Arsenal also traveled to Newcastle on Sunday and came away with a much-needed dub and a clean sheet. So, Toast, let me go to you, bro. Because obviously, good evening and his Villarreal played a fantastic game on Thursday, especially in the first half, and will probably rue the chances that they've missed. Still, Arsenal got their away goal. Like I said earlier, do you think the mission can be completed next Thursday, or
Yeah, no, I mean, I absolutely think the mission can be completed, man. But again, like with the level of performance that we put in, like away from home, like I kind of don't really go into. Well, it's a home game, so I'd like to go in with confidence. But in terms of expectations, like they're pretty like level. I mean, I'm not getting ahead of myself that just because we're home, we're going to take care of business, because the manner in which we conceded those 2 goals in the first leg, to be honest, was pretty disgusting. To be honest, the performance was disgusting. The manager's disgusting. So yeah, man, it's going to be a tough one. And obviously, in any sport, you got a manager on who's been the former manager of a team. If you think that he's not going to go tell those boys, go get me this win, like take me to the finals, you know what I mean? And as well as that, like as much as we want to banter about Emery, he has pedigree in this tournament and we have to show him his respect. So yeah, man, we really have to be at our best. I just don't feel as if we're defensively good enough to say if we're going to win the game, innit? So I would not be surprised if we somehow end up going out. Like,
sorry to interrupt you there, Toes. And it's in poor position. We stink at home. Like, if people are telling me Villarreal will not score at Arsenal, like that, come on, they're gonna bag. I know my club well enough to know we're gonna concede. So it's just one of them ones again that we've done this for the last so the quarters and the round of 16. Benfica, we made it a meal, and then Sparta, we made it a meal again. We just can't do
Olympiacos
easy way.
Olympiacos was after Benfica.
Sorry?
Olympiacos.
yeah, it was.
Bruh. You man love it.
We just can't make it. Like, you see United, we're not going to get into them, but then there's Arsenal. It's just Andy, there's no pole position right now.
So let me ask you, Arsenal guys, then, because obviously you saw what United did to Roma. Obviously, you know, they're not particularly that good this season, but for me as a neutral, I would like to see a United Arsenal final, because I feel like United would not give Arsenal 6.
Nah, they wouldn't.
But if Villarreal makes the final, they'll give them 6, I think. So this is why I would want a United v Arsenal final. However, as Arsenal fans, because I've heard you lot talking about it, you guys are not really feeling it. Someone is saying they're scared.
Boy, like, I mean,
People are scared, boy.
No, but facts, Arsenal fans always do this before our games, but Arsenal have had a good record against United over the last couple of years. Let's not shy away from that. However, obviously, in a big game final, it does change things, innit? So I understand where their reservations come from, but at the same time, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I think we could beat United.
I think on paper, yeah, like United probably should smoke us, but
yeah,
I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean, Char. Yeah, like when the game is actually played, United will probably hate having to play another English team.
100%,
100%. So yeah, it will be a funny one.
If we talk about the last time we met each other in the final, boy,
I'll happily talk about it.
All right, cool. Jake, obviously in other news as well, in regards to Arsenal, the CEO of Spotify seriously inquiring about buying Arsenal. What did you make of that?
It seems semi-serious. Like you saw, I don't know if you boys saw it, but it was like the whole thing of, he's in board meetings and he'll put on the Arsenal game whilst it's on if he's in a board meeting, which, I mean, that's how the rich live, isn't it? You don't even have to focus on your job. You can just watch the Arsenal game whilst making multi-million pound decisions. And then getting in like the legends, what was it, Vieira, Bergkamp, Henry into his bid. It seemed semi-serious. The guy seemed ready, but Kroenke ain't going to sell. Let's be fair. You're an absolute cash cow, Arsenal. Like, just the amount of money in that, why would he sell it for a lump figure? He is going to continue just making money. That is what it is.
I think that's why he's got the legends involved. I think he's trying to play on the emotion side of Arsenal.
But I think that's what he's going. He doesn't have an emotional side.
Of course, yeah.
He literally, he will see that club as just a way to increase his bank balance, which he bought it for that reason. That's unfortunately the way it's gone. And that's why Arsenal in this situation, because the owner is not prepared to do whatever it takes to win. Like, you compare it to Chelsea and City, like those two clubs are owned by men and groups that literally see that club as more of like an icon, like a brand piece. Like they have to be winning. They have to be at the very top. Kroenke doesn't have to have Arsenal at the very top. He just has to have them making money and sustainably making money. I mean, that's why he was involved in the Super League, because it guarantees him, what was it, 350 million euro every year? So for me, I can see the bed being semi-serious, but unless it blows Kroenke out the water to the point where he cannot refuse it, like a Godfather type offer, he's not going to sell. He has no reason to if he can continue to upgrade the money-making potential of this club.
Kroenke will eventually sell.
That's the thing, man. Like,
What
will it take, Shalom?
He will. It will get to a point where the position will become very untenable for the Arsenal fans, providing, say, this particular acquisition doesn't go through. Next year, he puts in more money into the club, and he's actually serious. Then he will stave off an Arsenal revolt, but if he's moving the way he's currently moving, then he would have to sell. Because what is the card Arsenal fans can play? We can just say we're not buying tickets, we're protesting.
Yeah, but Mate revenue doesn't make that much compared to him. Like TV rights and stuff like that. As long as that continues to come in.
Wait,
Yes.
you know, like we're one of the clubs that make the biggest revenue on a match day. The Premier League.
Even with TV rights, I'm pretty sure if the fans are unhappy, then it will affect the whole club. So essentially, he either has to sell or he has to put in money, because it's not.
I think the only way he will sell, because isn't his son like the CEO or something?
Yeah.
Exactly. I think they're looking to own this for generations, bro. So I think the only way he's gonna sell this if Arsenal just basically continues at whatever you're doing right now.
And
But you're missing the point. You're missing the point, because the fans are saying we can't continue this. The whole Super League was.
You keep saying the fans. He's the owner, bro. He owns it. What's the fans gonna do?
This is the thing. This is the thing. Do you think what's the fans are gonna do? What can they do? This is what they can do. They can refuse to pay. That hurts his pocket.
There's over 60,000 Arsenal fans from Thailand that will come. It doesn't matter, bro.
Okay, so you're saying that the Arsenal fans in Thailand are not Arsenal fans?
Bro, first of all, I think a fans revolt, it's not going to happen. I don't think fans will stay away for long periods, or they will stop buying the kits, or they will stop doing this.
Andy, are you not seeing what's happening right now?
Yeah, I think that's very bold to say that.
I see what's happening. But I think for long term, it's not going to click. That's what I think.
But this has never happened. This is what get. If there's ever a time for fans to revolt, it's now. Like everything that's happening, and just imagine right now, there's obviously no fans in the stadiums. When they get back in,
especially after COVID.
But the thing is, you guys
fans ain't on it, man.
Y'all need to see this in front of you. It's clear. If Kroenke continue running the club like this, the most we can win is an FA Cup. It's not going to change. So essentially, what happens is Arsenal goes down in history in terms of winning things. It will change, because Arsenal fans wouldn't want the status quo to remain the same. Eventually, he will sell. The question is, when will he sell? That's basically the issue here, because Kroenke is going to be a club.
It's like anything. It's like anything, exactly. It's like anything in terms of business. If your product, if your brand isn't a good brand, if it's not deemed as a good brand, you'll sell. Yeah. So but Arsenal fans can make that product and not a good product. They can make it very, very bad, and that's the reason. Only way. That's how I feel like people are underestimating the power of fans.
Power of the fans.
I think a lot of people, a lot of conversations. I know we were touching United, but a lot of the conversations I've been reading and seeing online and having with other people, I think they're ignoring what fans can do at a football club, and especially English football. Like at the heart of it is fans. And I think people need to remember that.
Heritage, mate.
Also, there's word on the street that he put Arsenal on shelf 2 years ago, and now that's what word is saying. So I think apparently Arsenal has been on, what's the word? He's put Arsenal on the market. It's just a good offer. But what Wenger said also strikes me. He says deals like this are not made in public, which makes me believe this elk deal will fail. But hopefully he doesn't. Plus, you never know. What's his name can be a worse Kroenke, but who knows? Let's just wait and see.
All right, man. Let's move on. Tabs.
Yo.
So obviously, we touched on Villarreal on Thursday, and then you also got West Brom at home on Sunday evening. I mean, for you as an Arsenal fan, what are you playing for in the league, like league-wise? Is it
You know what?
the embarrassment of not being in the?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We can't be on page 2 of 2 come the end of the season. So basically, every Premier League game, I don't care who it is a cup final game, right? In the league. But
I just want to disclaim myself from that comment.
So Munya, so you'd still rather lose those games and finish on page?
I mean, I wouldn't call it a cup final because we should just like the Newcastle game, we should be winning that game. There's just games that we should be winning.
That's what I'm just stating that every game is a must win. Basically, is what I'm saying for us to finish in the best possible position we can, based on what's left. So to answer Andy's question, every game is important. But obviously our Arteta's season rests on Villarreal, and then what happens if we qualify past the semi-finals as well. I think that's what all it rests on. If he doesn't win that, man, he's gonna get fired. That's
Is he?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
think he will. I don't think he will personally.
Not
but
with the concrete's local.
But he should though. He should.
He absolutely
Yeah, he
should.
should.
Like,
He
he's
should.
been given a whole season. If Arsenal to finish 9th after a whole season of Arteta, that's a
Kick
stackable
the
offensive.
Hurst, Joe.
Who's gonna sack him? Thomas, who's gonna sack him? Because
this
is my problem. When
Yeah, go ahead.
our board from top to below, Arteta is a yes man. He causes no problem. He doesn't turn around and demand things. They'll be happy with him as our manager. So as long as we can get this sale from EK, Henry and them man don't like Arteta. They'll ship him out. So I'm telling you now, with the current board, he's staying.
Well, yeah, Moon, even you run that logic, any good manager would demand good players. So where are Arsenal going to get the money? The money that they haven't invested yet. So Arteta isn't going anywhere. That's the reality of things.
And we can expect another season of 9th, and if we keep it 100 next year.
Why?
Exactly.
Fail to prepare to fail, lads. Let's just sit tight and just ride the wave.
Chardon told you, man. Anyway, let's move on. Obviously, this weekend was meant to be the big Super Sunday game between United and Liverpool.
Yeah.
But preparations for that got rudely interrupted by a certain section of protesting United fans storming into Old Trafford. Eventually, the match got postponed, but there were nasty scenes of doors being smashed. Even I saw a security guard being badly injured. People doing overhead kicks. It was a little bad. And obviously, as of now, the game has been postponed. I'm not sure yet, but you guys can tell me. There's been no date yet for this game, right?
No date.
All right, cool. However, United did have a game on Thursday where they had a home game against in the Europa League versus Roma. Eventually ran out comfortable 6-2 winners in the end. But let's talk about what happened, man. Obviously, nasty scenes at Old Trafford and the game being postponed has inconvenienced everyone, especially Liverpool, who are obviously in need of points to get into the top 4. But how did you experience this as a United fan? And if anything, what sort of sanctions do you feel that needs to be posed on United or fans or both? Or you feel like
look, I think the scenes yesterday, I think everyone was watching the same thing, and as it was happening, I think more people started almost getting surprised as it unfolded. So I remember my initial reasoning or my thought trail basically was like, look, in the UK there is quote unquote a freedom of speech. Obviously, people breaking and hurting people isn't something to be justified, but if they're not doing that, then let their feelings be known. I've always come probably in favor of the fans rather than the business aspects of things. Of course, I know that the Glazers aren't going to sell. Of course, I know that this is probably not going to have them thinking to sell because they live 8 hours away and they have no recollection of what's happening in the UK day to day. However, as a fan, I understand what their ownership is doing to the club. So I was at first I was justifying what they were doing. It's only until I think we saw more pictures and I started realizing that people were getting hurt. They'll throw like bottles and flares up to I think the Sky Sports broadcasting team and even outside the stadium. Then I think they made a great point. And don't get me wrong, I'm not relating the two situations. Obviously, one is clearly should be more of an agenda. But I remember when a couple months ago there was racial relations and obviously the whole Black Lives Matter movement was happening. And what the media was doing was they were painting the whole movement on the actions of a couple idiots. That basically people that were basically the one or two within the community, within the crowd that was basically causing trouble, which you can get anywhere. My overall opinion is in this situation, we can't allow for the idiots to basically downplay or to sugarcoat what's actually the point of yesterday. It wasn't just the fact that we dislike. Because I think I heard people talking about they were almost making it a football reason. So the reason why United fans are angry is because we're rubbish. But that's a lazy argument for me, because if you break it down sector by sector, the reason why we're not performing on the pitch over the last 8 years, which is how long we haven't won the league, is because of decisions that are being made by this board. And why? Because they're taking money out of a club and they're using it to pay themselves dividends. So that's the issue, and I think that's the reason why United fans are disgruntled. But then, I'm not justified. Go on.
Sorry, yeah, but then, obviously, I've seen some people question that. I've seen I hear what you're saying, to be honest, but then I've seen some people questioning that, saying that, but yeah, in that time, obviously, with the profit that they've made, that the United board have made, you've bought amazing players.
Yeah, so just to add to that.
Yeah.
So Drew, I'm not sure if anyone knows the ins and outs of United like that, but basically we are self-sustained. So all the money that we spend as a club is the money that we generate as a club. If like you actually look at basically like Arsenal. If you actually look at, I think maybe we'll share it in one of the socials. If you actually look at how much is being spent by the Glazers in comparison to what we're making as a business in terms of United as a business, it's minus. They're not spending anything. They're taking money out of a club. They put us on the stock exchange. They're taking I think it's 20-something% of the club is has been bought by bank loans. So it's not even financed by themselves. It's financed by basically them saying they can pay it off in a certain period of time. So bear in mind, when they walked in 2005, and I think they took majority shareholder in, I think like 2008, maybe 9, we had one of the best facilities in terms of training. We had probably the best stadium in the world, in the country at least. Now, all the other clubs around me, you can't tell me that people like Everton, like Aston Villa are investing into their training grounds, investing into their clubs, and United, who are self-sustaining, their owners can't do the same. It's not just it's not a
stadium, innit?
Bro, if anyone's been to our stadium over the last, let's say, 5 to 6 years, the seating is a joke. For Manchester United, who are the third richest club in the world, to have those sort of facilities is a joke in itself. And just to finish off my point, it's not even just that. If you actually look at the area in and around Old Trafford, it's undeveloped. If I've heard, obviously I haven't gone to City Stadium themselves, but if you actually go into the area in and around the City Stadium, the Etihad, it's completely different. There's flats, there's nice scenery, and there's a reason for that, because on their half they have managers, they have owners who invest into their club, and on our half we have people who want to take money from it. So until that changes, I'm always going to be for protesting it, as long as it's peaceful.
I mean, City round the corner, you get into a bad neighborhood as well, the Etihad. And I think the Old Trafford is a bit isolated.
Have you seen Tottenham? If you want to talk about bad, have you seen the Tottenham one?
Yeah.
That is shocking.
Especially that's like a diamond covered in shit, basically.
I went for one game.
Yeah, I'm not saying United is like that. I'm just saying that there's areas basically that are the land is owned by the club, and the club haven't done anything on it.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
guys, I got a question. Do you reckon these billionaires or so-called billionaires ain't got the peas like that, so they can't spend?
Probably tied up in assets, man.
Bro,
because these football is a very expensive game. So for you to recoup your spending, It might take a long time. So really and truly, the people who are spending money are people who actually have the money, i.e. the oil guys.
Roman.
So, yeah.
Just to add to that,
What,
Shalom, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say what Shalom. I mean, like, I do get what you mean. That obviously not all of like an owner's net worth is obviously like liquid or anything, but you can't tell me that like these multi-millionaire owners don't have 200-300 million to put into a club. At the end of the day, like that is a very small percentage of what the actual net worth is. You know what I mean? What worth of a club is. So for me, like if you're comparing like what the City owners, for instance, and the Man United owners, or even the Arsenal owners, like it's like apples and oranges. Like if we're talking about clubs that have to be self-sustainable, essentially.
So what I'm trying to put across is, say you spend 300 or million in a year buying a player, and obviously wages, etc., and other things in the club. When are you looking to recoup that 300 million plus interest? I'm guessing that's what you would like. So, you know, I think football has changed because money has come into the game and made it extremely difficult. So I'm trying to see the other side's point of view.
The return on investment, Shalom, should be winning games and winning trophies, winning titles, not how much you get back in terms of profit. You understand? If you were a true supporter of the club's interests.
So one point across to you, do you reckon you can get away with that if you have enough money to spend? But you can't, or you have to kind of fight yourself between the juxtaposition of being a business owner, if it's a juxtaposition, or being a business owner and a supporter. You have to think, okay, and I'm here to make money. Ultimately, it's a business. So my question is, has the introduction of Abramovich and Saudis, have they kind of ruined football because people are not looking to spend as much as them?
They've made it better, bro.
So that's my question to you guys.
I think if the likes of Roman and Sheikh Mansour, I think, like Drew said, I think they've made it better. I think they have welcomed more competition.
These men have genuine interest into the game. You can't compare them to the Glazers.
They've welcomed competition.
But that's the point, Drew. That's literally the point. These men have invested interest in football. So that's the reason why they should be owners of football clubs.
Exactly.
These Americans don't care about football,
they don't care.
so they look at us as an investment, which is fine. Businessly, I'm not against what they're doing, because at the end of the day, the reason why anyone goes into business is to make as much money as possible. I understand it, but this is the point where these people that are working 5 days a week, that are using their last bit of piece to buy tickets. Do you think they're sitting there thinking, oh, businessly, we understand the way the Glazers are basically running the club? Of course not. And that's the point. Like, it's almost take your business out of sometimes and just think about it in a logical sense. You understand it's mad. It's crazy.
So I don't know. I was just watching, like, not to go off point too much, but I was watching the City game on the weekend, obviously, and I saw like their second team is basically like the equivalent of a top 4 first team. And for me, I don't know. I just kind of feel as if it's a little bit unfair, like the amount that
got to that point.
City are able to spend, and it's a tough one because I wouldn't want to like put like a cap on team spend, but there should be an element of owners maybe are allowed to spend up until a certain amount, because at the end of the day, like it really isn't fair. If you're looking at City squads, and
I think that's what they're trying to introduce.
You want a fair play law in football.
I think they're trying to introduce that 50+1.
I think that's the only way, realistically, we're going to have teams being able to compete with City. At the end of the day, they're going to win 3 out of the last 4 titles, and their squad is by far the best. It's not even competition.
It's not even close, yeah.
I hear you guys, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, because I'm really on the then get your money up kind of flex. But
don't cop the club.
and don't mess up the club because look, like every other owner, especially in the top 6, I think all of these owners are billionaires. Like they're all billionaires, and you know what you do with your money. Especially Roman is a brilliant example because he doesn't rely on Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea doesn't have the reach and the commercial reach like Arsenal, like Liverpool, like United. My man puts his own money. If we need to get Havertz and Werner in one window, I'm going to my MasterCard, swipe the thing, bro. We'll pay his freight.
Chelsea's a pleasure to him.
these other owners, they don't do that. You
No.
get me? When they can. Bro,
That's one point across. Can they? That's my question.
I think they can. I think they can. I think they can, but they
feel
just
like
choose not to.
The FA needs to step in. Like, honestly, like there has to be some sort of like
because even
bargaining
with Arsenal,
agreement that allows the FA to kind of step in.
Even with Arsenal, like you don't spend as much as City does, like in terms of like 30 like 4 signings in one window that cost 30 million, but you have managed to sign a Pepe for that amount, for example. Liverpool have managed to sign a Van Dijk, for example. United, Martial years ago for that amount. People were looking wrong at that as well. You get me? So these teams, they do spend, but the difference with Roman is like he loves Chelsea, he loves football, he loves the Premier League. Sheikh Mansour as well. Same thing. They love City, they love the Premier League, but above all, they just want to win, bro.
So they essentially they spend more.
To my point, do you think it's a coincidence that the reason why they're winning on the pitch is because they love football? It's not rocket science.
If anything, you man, they should, like, we're talking about caps. There should be like a minimum spend. If anything,
this is kind of it's kind of low key what I mean, Prez, and
something
like we need the FA to almost step in and say, you know what, like if you're not gonna run, well. It's difficult because at the same time, on the flip of the coin, you can't really ask or tell an owner how to run his football club. But it's ridiculous when Sheikh Mansour is spending stupid money and then Arsenal are having to generate their own revenue to spend money. Like, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous, and it's not
Arsenal
fair.
Don't have to generate their own revenue.
It's just a business decision.
It's a business decision.
That's what Kroenke chooses to do.
Because I'm sure these guys sit down and get advice that, okay, if you spend X, Y, and Z, you will get there by X time.
Bro, you know
but if you do this, you get it. They know what they're doing. So essentially, it either comes to just the love for the game, that makes you want to spend more and makes you want to take that risk in order to win. Then that's basically what you have to, the criteria you have to meet to become a football owner. You need to have passion for the game.
Yeah, basically,
that's what we're asking.
That's basically
it. Okay. But in the free market, it doesn't work like that because you get people who just have the money and no passion for the game, and that's what happens.
Let's move, man. This is the whole topic in itself, but let's keep it stepping. Press. Let's go to a bit more happier news then, because obviously Thursday 6-2 winners at home via Roma.
Yeah.
Seems like every time Roma enters UK shores, they leave with a pamming, especially against United. But I think for not for once, but for a few times this season, collectively, United look really good, even despite the setbacks, because they came back. I think they were 2-1 up once in the game, weren't they?
Yeah, Roma were 2-1 up. Yeah.
But United just kept playing their game. What did you make of United's overall performance, man? And obviously, you're the team to beat now for this Europa League.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's various points in the season where, like, I go back to, after a game is finished, I go back to the game and watch the extended highlights of the game like multiple times because I'm so pleased with the performance. Obviously, they're few and far between. I think probably Tottenham was probably another one that's more recent where I was like, I was pleased with the performance. But yeah, this one was one of them as well. And I don't know what it was, man. I think like coupled with the fact that Roma weren't really that good. I mean, not taking credit away from the boys because obviously, we still had a job to do. There's, pressure of the occasion, etc. And, we overcame a deficit as well. But, the boys, the football just seems to be clicking. Bruno was finding pockets. A lot of it for me was just, we just have better players. Yeah, the soccer was great, but we just have the better players. Like Cavani was unreal. Bruno was unreal. Pogba was unreal. Greenwood came on and scored his goal. I feel like I think they had their number one keeper substituted due to injury. I think late in the first half, and the substitute goalkeeper was very, very shit, man. Like he was not good at all. There was a couple of the goals that I feel like we scored that he could have definitely done better with. But we were still clinical. We were composed. We weren't rattled by being behind. And we kept the pressure on. We kept applying the pressure, and we kept pushing for more goals. And if I had to be overly critical about the performance, I feel like the 2 goals could have been avoided. the 2 goals we conceded. Obviously, Pogba was unfortunate with the handball situation, and I feel like defensively, the two holding players that we've got in midfield, McFred, quote unquote, could have probably done a little bit more on the second goal. But aside from that, yeah, I can't really come in and slander the performance or any of the players too tough, because I feel like we did exactly what was expected of us in the second half and have put ourselves in a great position come the second leg. So yeah, pleased with that, man.
Obviously, because the weekend game got postponed in it, so it gives you more time to prepare to slap the brakes off Roma.
Yeah, man, and I'm hoping that we give some of the other guys a chance as well. Like give Ahmad a run out. I think a lot of the fans are keen to see what he's about. I feel like this is a good game for him. Van der Beek as well, of course. Just give them guys some minutes, put some minutes under their belt. Obviously, the season's closing out, and give them the experience and a little bit of show a little bit of faith in them. So let's see what happens.
Man said give Van der Beek a run out. How disrespectful that is.
It's mad disrespectful, bro. But like the way things have been going for him, like I just want to get him on. Do you know what I mean? So,
how many goals do Roma need to score to go through? Just asking for a mate.
I think 4, man. It was just horrible.
It's not happening, man. It's not.
As long as we score, once we score one away goal, like forget it.
What did you make of before we move on? What did you make of the Roma Pellegrini of Roma?
He was their busiest player.
Yeah, he's nice,
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, he's one of their shining lights this season, man. But overall, that team is poor, man. Especially their back four.
Yeah, man.
Stuff. Yeah, man. But shout out United, man. Good stuff. Obviously, last but certainly not least, we got Spurs again. Our residential Spurs fan is not in the building, but we let him off for this week again. Obviously, off the back of a loss in the final of the Caribbean Cup, Ryan Mason and his comrades welcomed the already relegated Sheffield United. Gareth Bale with a hat-trick. I think it's his first hat-trick since 2012 for Spurs. 4 goals, 0 goal involvements from Harry Kane, which leads me to this important question, Toast. Are we giving Ryan Mays the 4-time Connie?
Hey, man, honestly, it's a slap in the face to Ledley King, innit? I'm going to put it up out there.
I was literally about to go there, but lead the way,
Ryan
bro.
Mason, because I'm pretty sure Ryan Mason hasn't been like an assistant or a coach at Tottenham anywhere near.
Connie is my age, brother.
King.
Even Chris Powell, bro.
We have Ledley King, who's a legend of the club, who for me, as a footballer, if it wasn't down to injuries, he definitely would have gone down as one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League, like hands down for me. Like he's a football guy, and I don't know how Ryan Mason has Usain Bolted his way up ahead of him, but I mean, yeah, if we're being honest, he's a caretaker. Like I can't see Ryan Mason
throw a spanner in the works. Who says that he wanted the role though? Because it's easier for us to say how they've missed Ledley. What if Ledley didn't want it?
Then I'm looking at Levi sideways, isn't it, man? I don't want to say
bro.
Come on, man. Yeah, I know you're playing devil's advocate, but really,
let's not do this, man.
Even Chris Powell, bro. Chris Powell was being talked about for the role.
Like hierarchy to things, man. Like, I just don't understand how is it a 29 or 30-year-old like
29, bro,
can just roll up and become the caretaker manager of Tottenham Football Club. That's just ludicrous, man.
It just shows their club in it's a shambles.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, man. But obviously, Shalom, let me go to you because obviously there's a hattie from Gareth Bale. Business end of the season is where people were predicting for him to come good. I haven't really heard your thoughts in regards to Gareth Bale so far. What have you made of him and his second coming to Spurs?
I would never slander Bale because he's done it. He showed us what he can do. But I will congratulate him for his hat trick. But it's Sheffield. They are really poor. I don't think there's any
quality finishes, though, man.
But the quality of finish.
But the keeper, though, that keeper's the worst keeper.
Aaron Ramsdale.
Bro.
Yeah.
His positioning was everywhere.
I don't think he's saving the second. The second goal?
Second one,
the second one, he wraps it.
The thing is, if you give good players time, they'll do amazing things. And obviously, the great players do amazing things when there's no time. So, not to say, what's his name is good. I'm just saying that he was given time. So, he was given time to to hit that ball top bins. If he was closed down, he probably would have taken another touch. But like I said, it was the quality of without taking the hat-trick away from Bale, Sheffield were a poor team. But well done to Bale.
Like Gareth Bale now, like 30 appearances in all competitions, 14 goals, 3 assists, like 17 goal returns.
Not bad for someone finished.
Not bad at all.
14 goals.
I'm sorry,
Not
14
bad at
goals
all.
in all comps and
Fair enough.
3 assists, man. So
Not bad for someone that's
there's a lot,
that
there's a lot of
basically didn't play.
naysayers, but man, class is permanent, like I always say.
Fair.
I'm a bit interested what would happen with him because obviously.
He's
Going back to the island and shit.
I'm saying
And he's living in the hotel, you know.
when is his contract up at Madrid? Because they're not
Got a
extending.
couple more years, I
Next year.
think.
Yeah.
Is it next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to get his
One
paycheck
year.
for the year and then go to America.
So where is it going? America? That's the only thing because I don't think anyone can afford his wage.
Yeah,
Golf player, bro.
Oh, he's nice, man. He's Welsh, yeah, who have no aspirations of winning anything on the international front. He's won it all in terms of the
football.
club. Yeah, bro, he's
Club
done.
football.
He's cool, bro. He's comfy.
Yeah. Shout out Bell, man.
Yeah,
All right, Toast. Obviously Spurs, like Liverpool, are small outsiders for the top 4. Heavily dependent on the teams above them to flop. Their last 4 games in the leagues are Leeds away, Wolves at home, Villa at home, and then Leicester away. Is this mission impossible for them, or are there 12 points to collect from them in these games?
It's
On paper, you would say yes. But
It's funny, yeah, exactly. On paper, you'd say yes, and obviously they've just kind of lost their manager, and I feel as if there's always this tradition of teams kind of going on a nice little run after a manager has been sacked or a manager has left. So, I mean, yeah, there's every possibility that Tottenham could go on a good run. Do I personally think that they'll make top 4? I don't think so. I think positions 1 and 2 are more or less wrapped up, and I think Leicester are not gonna make the same mistake they made last year, and I feel as if Chelsea as well are gonna get the 4th spot as well. So I do think it's mission impossible, to be honest. I think they've left it too late.
Facts. What did you guys make of TalkSport's new signing as well?
Boy,
Is that true? I thought
he's
that was
inevitable, man. He's inevitable, that guy.
Who?
Are we talking about Jose? Yeah.
Jose, yeah.
Yeah.
What, he's
real,
local?
man. He's real. He's real.
Right,
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
mad.
man.
Yeah, he's real, man. TalkSport, newest signing.
Mad. Shout out Jose, man. I swear he was saying
You can shout him out, boy.
he wants another Prem job.
What was that?
I read like an interview he did. He said he wants another Prem job. He doesn't want to. Yeah, he doesn't want to leave, man.
Fam,
This is
him
the
and
thing,
Carlo
yeah.
are his boys. He'll replace Carlo at Everton or something, man. That's his bag.
He'll be asking for a nut salary, bro. This is
Yeah.
the thing. Like, who's gonna want to pay that? Knowing his recent track record, really.
Someone will pay it, man. Someone will pay it. Someone will always pay it.
Just
That's
to
the
boost the
problem.
profile of the club.
All right, man. Let's head to the bar. Any shots?
Yeah,
Line them up.
I'll
you
have
got
a
shots.
shot.
Go on, Munya.
You know, I always take shots for keepers. Today I'm going to take a shot for our number 2, Matty Ryan. He stepped up, his 3rd Premier League start for Arsenal. First win, first clean sheet. I feel like he's very unlucky in his first 2 games. He's a man that loves the club. And I actually saw in an article something quite interesting. He actually speaks Spanish, I think. So even when he was commanding with Gabriel, who started, he was able just to communicate. He's a man that loves the game. And I feel like if we sign him, we need someone to push Leno because Leno's just too comfortable at the moment. So shout out Matty Ryan.
Press.
Yeah, man. Just for the win in the Europa League semi-final. Just shout out the United boys, man. Came through, did the business. Can't complain, man. And it looks like Ole might finally be breaking the curse of the semi-finals, not being able to overcome it and get to a final. Obviously, we've still got another 90 minutes to play, but we're in a good position to do it. Obviously, I got a caveat, you know like that. So I had to throw that in there quickly. But yeah,
This is
shout
what
out
we
the
get.
boys,
No,
man.
man.
Bro, this is what we've become, man.
Yeah,
Jake.
Yeah, my shot is for Captain America, Pulisic. I already touched on it in my bit on the second game, but him rounding Courtois, that's an all-time moment for me, making an absolute fool out of him. I will love him forever for that. But as well, like I was reading after the game, because he was getting fouled constantly again in that game. He's the most fouled player in a Champions League semi-final apart from Messi. So he was absolutely running the game from attacking viewpoint. Like, he's looking sharp again. I just hope he stays consistent like that so that he won out for my boy.
Hear it.
Nice one, man. Cha.
Yeah, man. Just want a quick young. Obviously, it's a bit premature, but a young shot from my boss, Ole. I just want to give him a bit of a shout out, man. I think I tweeted it.
Hashtag Ole ball, yeah.
Ole ball, bro. I think I tweeted it, and you had the response to it. But when we lose, it's always Ole's fault. When we win, it's individual brilliance. But I think sometimes we just need to realize that it's been Ole, not Jose, not LVG, Van Gaal, not Moyes, not Giggs, who has managed to get all these people and get them working in a system that's obviously producing results. So shout out Ole, man, my G.
Toast.
Yeah, I got a quick shot for Mohamed Elneny. Now, this one is actually a Sambuca shot, and I don't like Sambuca, so you obviously know where I'm going with this one. He scored his first goal in the Premier League for Arsenal since 2016, which I think is just really indicative of the kind of sort of club we are, really, like that. Elneny's not scored a Premier League goal since 2016. He played, I think, 3 or 4 seasons, went on loan, came back, and still hadn't scored a Premier League goal until just this weekend, isn't it, man? So, yeah, it's not a respectable record at all. And if Thomas Partey keeps shooting the way he does, it's going to be another 4 years till we get a Premier League goal from him as well, man. So, yeah, man, that's my shot off of those two boys. Boy.
All right, man. Let me close it. I've got a shot as well. No one Liverpool related, but ex-United player just won the league over at Italy, Inter Milan. And the reason why I'm saying this is because obviously he's someone that I've always, had I've always added him, but at the same time I've liked him. So my shot goes out to Lukaku for inspiring and being a major part for Inter Milan winning the league again, taking it off Juventus after 7 years. Romelu Lukaku Bolingoli, as I like to call him, man. Shout out you, man. Obviously, with that, we will end this show. Remember to follow us on our socials, VARBARPOD, and on Insta, the VARBAR Podcast on Twitter. We are also on YouTube, the VARBAR Podcast. Subscribe, hashtag VARBAR Podcast whenever you tweet or send us tweets. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew, and we out.
Peace.
Peace, man.
Peace.
Hey, Kai.
And it looks like they're going to VAR. They're checking.